Hi, I'm Sophie Giuliano, author of the Gorgeously Green book series. And today I'm going to show you how to pick the best chocolate. Now, when I say the best, not necessarily the most amazingly delicious chocolate truffles, because we all know how to pick those. What I'm talking about is how to pick the healthiest chocolate. Now, isn't that amazing that chocolate can be healthy, but actually it can be really, really healthy. And the reason why is that chocolate in its absolute sort of purest source, so as close to the bean as possible, is full of nutrients, primarily potassium and magnesium, lots and lots of magnesium, and magnesium is really important nutrient, and it's actually very calming. So when you eat your chocolate, you can feel very sort of calm and relaxed. But here is the key. You need to eat as close to the actual source of the bean as possible. The closer you get to the source of the bean, the healthier, the more nutrients you are going to have. Now, the bean is called the cacao, or sometimes known as the cacao bean. The bean itself is rather like a coffee bean. It's hard and it's pretty bitter. So the closest source that you can get in terms of eating and munching this chocolate is something known as the nib, N-I-B. I'm actually addicted to the nib. And this is what they look like. They're little crunchy. This is sort of the broken up outer shell of the cacao bean. And often when they're sold in health food stores, they'll be covered with a sort of sugar liquor because by themselves they're pretty bitter, but covered in this sugary liquor. They are so good. And you can just eat handfuls of them, or you can sprinkle them on ice cream, and they are just fabulous. So remember that, nib, very good. Now, second to that would be a powder. So the nibs are ground up, minus the sugar, into a very pure powder, the cacao or the cacao powder. This is different from cocoa powder. It's much purer, it's much closer to the source, so it has a lot more nutrients in it. It's wonderful for baking. So I really recommend that if you are a healthy baker, or if you want to cook brownies and chocolate cakes and yummy things for your children, I always use this as opposed to cocoa powder, because then I know my kids, the kids I'm cooking for, are getting all those nutrients. You will need to add sugar because it's not sweetened when you buy it in its pure powdered form. So then we move on to another form of this bean that you can often find in many health food stores, which is the cacao or the cacao paste. Very similar to the powder, but it's just in a big block form. You can cut off great chunks and eat it, but again, it's not that sweet, but absolutely fantastic for baking. So then moving away from the actual bean itself into chocolate, which is what we all love and know and recognize, obviously, in supermarkets. Now, the thing with chocolate, we've all heard a lot about dark chocolate and how it's much better for us than milk chocolate. And the reason is that milk chocolate, a lot of sugar and milk, obviously, in the form of dry powdered milk, is added. So it is actually healthier just to go with a very pure dark chocolate. The content, the cacao content in the chocolate is very important. Now, remember this, it really needs to be at least 45%. And most chocolates you buy now, dark chocolate, will very clearly state, as this does on the pack, it'll say 65% or 75% or even 90%. The higher, the better. It'll be a little bit more bitter, but it's much, much better for you. And it's a quiet taste. It's a taste you can get used to. So those are little chocolates, 65%, great, really work. For baking, if you're going to use chocolate chips that you can buy at any store, semi-sweet ones, this one here is 49%. So that works absolutely fine for me. And then finally, you'll just get to your bog standard regular chocolate that you'll get at any store, any shop, supermarket. And this one here, as an example, actually doesn't have the cacao content on it. So I'd imagine it's probably pretty low, maybe 20 to 30. But why I'm showing you this is better this than milk chocolate. So there you have it. That's how to find the healthiest chocolate. As I say, these powders, these nibs, these pastes will be found in a health food store, or you can go to gorgeouslygreen.com to find them. And yeah, you know what? I recommend doing a lot of your own baking. That's always my thing, because then you can put all these healthy, they're known as superfoods in them. So just every single day, remember, you can do it yourself and you can do it gorgeously.